Yes, there's much behind the name Packard, beginning with a man's name, James Ward Packard, who in the late 1800s operated a small electrical equipment plant in Warren, Ohio, and who, because he was dissatisfied with the quality of his newly purchased horseless carriage, decided he could build better, and did. The first Packard in 1899. Like other luxury automobiles of the era, the new Packard created immediate interest and caused public excitement wherever it went. But acceptance slowly grew. And when in 1903, Packard's old Pacific crossed the continent in only 57 days, the first time the continent had ever been crossed by automobile, Packard was on its way. And the following year built and sold 250 cars. By that time, Packard's manufacturing had been moved to Detroit into a specially designed plant which was so well fitted for automobile production that it served as a model for all other car manufacturers for years to come. Here, through the years, Packard grew and prospered on a foundation of engineering excellence. From the very earliest days of motoring, the name of Packard was synonymous with engineering leadership and the advancement of the industry. The selective gear shift with the H movement was first introduced by Packard in 1899. Packard was first with the steering wheel in 1901. In 1904, the famous Packard Gray Wolf was the first American car to travel faster than a mile a minute. And in 1915, the Packard Twin 6, first V12 engine in an American car, became the symbol of speed and power to motorists everywhere. Came this country's entrance into World War I, and Packard's greatest contribution to the war effort was the V12 Liberty engine, designed by Packard's Colonel Vincent. Packard built the first Liberty motor, the first Liberty motor to fly, and by war's end had produced more than any other maker. General March, World War I Army Chief of Staff, wrote, "The real contribution of America to the development of aviation during the war was the Liberty engine, practically the only thing which we did not have to copy from our allies abroad." And then came the armistice, and a new era of greatness for Packard. Through the post-war years, as America prospered and developed, Packard became an important symbol of the American scene. Its place in elegant transportation was unchallenged, not only in America, but also among the fabulous princes and potentates of the world. And in the life of us who were growing up, Packard prestige and fun were synonymous. Packard was prospering and in the van of automotive progress. New engineering firsts flowed from Packard, long recognized as the master motor builders of the world, for such achievements as the famous Packard Twin 6 engine, which put Packard among the pioneers of V-engine design. During the years, Packard master motor builders built practically every type of motor known today, even developing and testing a workable double V or 24-cylinder X engine. And in other fields of the American scene, too, Packard contributed its engineering wizardry. Garwood used Packard marine engines in his famous Miss Americas to capture and successfully defend the World Speed Championship on water against challengers from all over the world. The first Navy dirigible, the Shenandoah, was powered with motors by Packard, which were required to operate successfully at full speed for 300 hours, an unheard of achievement at the time. A world's record for sustained flight without refueling was set by a Packard designed and built diesel aircraft engine and earned for the company the Collier Aviation Trophy in 1932. And these were but a few of the Packard master motor builders' achievements during the unprecedented 20s and 30s. Achievements that won for the company 60% of the fine car field, more than all other manufacturers put together. But there was trouble in the world. As storm clouds grew over uneasy Europe and Asia, Packard turned its attention to defense contracts and accepted the job of mass-producing the Rolls-Royce aircraft engine, previously handmade in England in limited numbers. The rigid Rolls-Royce requirements had been turned down by several other automobile manufacturers who thought these precision engines were impossible to build in such quantities. But Packard craftsmen, thoroughly accustomed to building quality only, quickly solved unusual production problems and filled the skies with fighters and bombers powered by mass-produced Packard Rolls-Royce engines. And on the seas of war, the deadly PT boats were made possible by Packard's vast experience in marine power. The huge, powerful PT engines were all designed, tested, and built by Packard master motor builders. And by VJ Day, Packard had produced $1,250,000,000 worth of engines and other defense items contributing to the successful conclusion of the war. Thus, at war's end, Packard's name was shining brilliantly among the finer automobile producers. A proud name that had continued to stand throughout all the years of automobile production, while other independent fine car producers, one by one, had glittered momentarily and faded from the scene. But something, too, was happening to Packard. The growth of vast corporate entities with tremendous purchasing power permitted strong invasion of Packard's market. The market itself was decidedly changing, and Packard found itself with a dealer body practically frozen in number. Something had to be done. And it was. Packard, master motor builder of the world, was on the move, out to regain the crown of engineering leadership which had long been associated with the name of Packard and Packard only. Engineering leadership that is practically the history of the motor car, with such outstanding firsts as four-wheel brakes, ride control, aluminum pistons, standard balloon tires, steel back bearings, hypoid gears, air conditioning, and scores of other advances that spurred the development of the automobile. And Packard was out to do it again. Dr. James J. Nance, a great industrial statesman and nationally recognized merchandising authority, took over the direction of Packard in June 1952 and firmly set our future course. He stated Packard's position clearly by pointing out that to regain engineering leadership, Packard would need the best, most powerful V8 engine, the fastest and smoothest transmission, greater individuality in styling, and more. As he put it, Packard needs another engineering first to rock the industry. Mr. Nance was determined to restore the name of Packard to the quality field. Give volume support to dealers by introducing the medium-priced Clipper. To accomplish these objectives, Mr. Nance set a dynamic program into action, the Packard program. A new management team was put together. On the firm base of old Packard men steeped in tradition and know-how, Mr. Nance attracted specialists from competitive automobile firms, specialists in engineering, manufacturing, and sales. To these were added specialists from outside the industry, specialists in merchandising and finance. And the Packard program was underway. New, modern facilities were rapidly acquired. Axle, engine, and transmission production was moved to a new plant in Utica, Michigan, an almost completely automatic push-button operation. A new body and assembly plant, designed to return Packard craftsmanship to Packard cars for the first time in many years, has been put into operation. A huge new materials handling warehouse in Utica has been built to speed the distribution of parts to dealers and distributors. And Packard's proving grounds facilities have been expanded and improved for the exclusive testing of one make of car. Thus, in an amazing period of only 2 short years, a completely modern multi-million-dollar production structure has been integrated into the dynamic Packard program. At the very outset of this program, the design studios and engineering laboratories were turned loose with the instructions, build a completely new car in the greatest of Packard traditions. A car that will lead in styling, outperform and outride any other car on the market. A car that will combine more engineering advancements than any automotive achievement of our time. A car that will restore Packard to its position of engineering leadership and that will be, just as the great Packards of former years, the epitome of performance, endurance, and true automotive elegance. And you will see today that this has been accomplished. As a final step in revitalizing Packard, Mr. Nance sought to expand our markets by making Packard a full-line producer, thus gaining many advantages for dealers and public alike. And in a short period of time, engineered the combination of the two oldest and most respected independent automobile manufacturers in the industry to form the Studebaker-Packard Corporation, a combination that retained the essential identity of both great names while gaining for each greater purchasing and research power, financial stability, styling and engineering advantages, and a greater number of outlets to the widespread markets of the country, indeed of the world. Thus today, we are all now a part of the fourth largest full-line producer of automotive products in the world. But what does all this mean in itself? It is only a beginning. All of Packard's great program has been preparation only. Preparation for now. And to explain the new threshold we now stand on, the new opportunities that the dynamic Nance program has opened to us, let us ask a man who, in his daily work, has come in close contact with the vital phases of this program, Mr. Claire Briggs. Mr. Briggs.
Hello there.